Because the truth of the matter is, I have opened up all of my chakras and pretty much it was all farts just backing them up. So, ahoy there, and welcome back to Dohmance Dawn. Namaste. I'm Luke, he, him, sometimes they, them, and I'm joined by my lovely, wonderful, effervescent co host, Janine. How do you greet the dawn?
Hello. My name's Janine Juliet. My pronouns are she, they, and I don't have a third thing to say.
Sometimes the silence speaks volumes.
Wow. Is this going to be the whole episode, or is this just the opening bit?
I just got back from a massage and I forgot the bit that I had come up with before the massage, but right now I am just feeling so powerful right now, and it is wonderful. Namaste. Welcome back to Dohmance Dawn, the only podcast where we talk about Simpsons and One Piece in every episode. It is so good to have you back. Since our last episode, we both had birthdays.
That's true. One more year added to our tallies.
Mm-hmm. I'm 36, and you can't ask a lady her birthday age.
I'll never tell.
Wink. I had a good time. I've seen some movies. I've been going back to the movies lately. It's been great. I think my number one movie that I saw in theaters this year is Chainsaw Man: The Reze Arc. How about you?
Uh, wow, I gotta really think about it.
You've seen a lot of movies, or you haven't seen a lot of movies?
I haven't seen a lot of movies. I'm trying to make sure that the movies that I would say did happen this year.
Yeah, Sinners was
Sinners.
this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sinners was very good. But it did not feature a man with chainsaw arms riding a shark fighting a tornado. And really, the big loss for it. Okay, let's get into this regular show. The episodes we are covering today initially ran between February 26th through April 15th of the year 2012. I believe this was the year where, yeah, I just didn't really have anything going on. I think I started doing some podcasts that never went anywhere. And we have a few weird Simpsons episodes to cover this week. The first was Exit Through the Quickie Mart, that has a Game of Thrones couch gag that will probably benefit us somehow. Homer tries to get Marge a special phone call, but it ends up going awry when the rabbit that Bart gets her as a gift eats through the phone cord. So Homer punishes Bart by making him go into the rabbit cage, but then Bart refuses to leave. When he does eventually sneak out, he makes a stencil of Homer and coats the town with it, calling it Mr. Fatso, and Bart is challenged to go bigger. He goes on a vandalism spree, but is caught by other graffiti artists who invite him to host a gallery show. That's when Homer finally realizes that he's Mr. Fatso, and he's angry at first until he begrudgingly accepts it. Bart reaches out to Homer with an apology piece of art at the show, but then it turns out the entire thing was a police sting because Shepard Fairey's a cop. A cab includes Shepard Fairey. And so Bart ends up doing a signing in the cage to make up for his crimes. And there's also a weird Trader Joe's subplot that just kind of fizzles out. Like it's a recurring bit that doesn't really involve any of the family, but it needs mentioned.
I do like that we did get to see just kind of a character arc for Apu.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I am currently working at an upscale grocery store, and this was just like a particular kind of funny for me.
Yeah, like it hits home in a way that it makes it connect for you more than it would for other people. Like I felt the same way about the new Knives Out movie. which I got to see in theaters. The
All
movies are back, baby.
right.
The babies are movies back. Yeah, it's a weird episode that just it's fine. It's weird that they didn't do more with the graffiti artists, but I enjoy Millhouse getting some ribbing done on him. Don't trust Shepard Fairey. The next one is How I Wet Your Mother. After Homer betrays his coworkers and ends up getting a day off, he takes Bart fishing. But then that night, he starts a habit of wetting the bed. He assumes it's guilt over his coworkers, so he throws them a reconciliation party. But he keeps wetting the bed, and the family ends up catching him. Frank shows up with an inception device, so they go into Homer's subconscious to try and figure out why, going in layer after layer, and they end up meeting Mona along the way. And Homer realizes that it's because he blames his parents for getting a divorce on himself because he had been on a fishing trip that went wrong, just like the one he took Bart on. And Mona tells him that the divorce wasn't his fault, and then they return to upper reality and everything is resolved. It's a weird one. I feel like they continue to regret killing off Glenn Close.
Yeah, I definitely got that. It was also very weird to see them do something that was such a direct movie parody without it being, you know, a Treehouse of Horror or something.
They did M. Night Shyamalan's Trap this season, and because of the rule of unfortunate coincidences, it's also going to be read as their K-pop Demon Hunters episode because they have a K-pop group in it, and it is the worst fake K-pop that I have heard. And also, they use three models for the dancing for some reason, and it does not work. But
Wow.
that's yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. I didn't see it in theaters. Yeah, like this one just kind of goes a lot off of Inceptioning, but doesn't really have too much to add. It's fine. I appreciate that the coworkers are very used to Homer's reconciliation parties and have opinions on which ones are good and bad. It's a solid bit. And then we have Them Robot, a eerily prescient one, like it came ripped from the headlines of Black Mirror, or should I say the Black Daily Mirror. That's a newspaper joke. Burns replaces all of the employees at the power plant with robots except for Homer, who then becomes bored as more of the people in the town are replaced from at their jobs with robots. Homer works on figuring out how to get the robots to hang out with him outside of work, but then he downgrades them. The robots attack, so Mr. Burns pays the unemployed townspeople to destroy the robots. It's a weird mess of an episode. I was kind of out of it when I watched it, and I also watched it like 4 weeks ago. So, Brent Spiner, he was in here. Nothing's finer than Brent Spiner.
I think that was probably my most favorite part of it, is just kind of hearing the very Data voice from the robots.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, yeah, robots gonna take your jobs.
Yeah, it. I feel like it was weirdly abstract enough that it didn't have much to add. Though I appreciate that they were kind of like, yeah, no, if you can affordably replace everyone with robots, then your entire economy is going to fucking fall apart. That's a bad idea. But they really weren't interested in that sort of socioeconomic impact of robots. As much as Homer's dumb, he wants to make friends with robots. And then we have one more weird episode, Beware My Cheating Bart. Jimbo makes Bart protect Shauna and go to a movie with her, and then afterwards he takes the fall for her when she's caught shoplifting. she starts to have interest in him, which results in him getting a kiss and her flashing him, which is weird. Yes, they are both minors, but it is still a weird thing. So they start hanging out more. The bullies get suspicious and end up catching the two of them kissing. And Shauna, after having dated Bart and having like some hey, why are you with Jimbo talks, ends up breaking up with Jimbo because she respects herself a bit more. And then the B plot is that Homer buys a treadmill that has a TV on it, but then gets into a Lost type show, and then he stops exercising and becomes obsessed with it. And Marge gets really pissed off because he keeps blowing her off, and so she ends up spoiling everything for him. That way they can spend time together.
Have you well, of course you have, but like how many would you think different series of television have you watched with your wife?
Do you need like a ballpark estimate or
Uh, round to the nearest 10.
I mean, we rewatch a lot of the shows that we've watched. I'm going to say about 20 because there's a few of them that we just recurringly rewatch as comfort watches. Why do you ask?
Well, I think it very much does kind of still say something today. The TV series that, you didn't get into before when everybody else was getting into it, but then like you're excited and you want to talk about it now. Or the fact that like with people in relationships living together, different series that they watch together and they don't like watch apart, or
Hmm.
trying to get someone into watching something. Uh, the different,
Dynamics.
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's some stuff that my wife is like, you can watch this without me, or I'm not interested in this show anymore, and I will do that. Like, there's some dropout shows that are very hit or miss for us, or that I need to wait for her to have enough energy to fully commit to the show, and I'm used to that. Or she has no interest in anime, so I'm Mr. Anime in the house. Mr. Anime in the house. He's picking up shit and anime.
That's the theme song. That's all you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you have like any other thoughts on that topic, or just calling it out?
Just really calling it out. I mean, I don't really think I have anything that would be as dramatic as what was going on with Homer and Marge. I mean, I can see both sides of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? The just getting so like caught up into it that it's just like, hey, I didn't catch up now, but I'm really excited about this. And the other side of just like, hey, I was really excited about this then and would have really loved to be able to like talk to you when it was happening.
And now I feel betrayed.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
You gotta learn to communicate with that, but also don't blow off time with your loved ones to consume media, because that doesn't work out for anybody. Um, yeah. Hey, we finally get characterization from Shauna in this episode. My wife doesn't like Shauna Chalmers. I think that's fair. She's a divisive character. All right. New characters who were unlocked include Ron English, Shepard Fairey, Tina Fey, Taranga Leela, Sawyer Like, Lettuce Eating Lettuce, Satyr Wiggum, E.F. Sherwood, Cocktail Marge, EO3, Goose, Bill Plimpton Couch, and many more. All right. And then this week we are covering episodes 537 through 541 and 543 through 544 of One Piece, because 542 was a Toriko crossover, and we'll eventually get to Toriko and all those crossovers, including the one where it's also a crossover with Dragon Ball Z. And we'll, I guess, talk about the weird stuff where apparently Japanese manga audiences don't mind creators who look at child porn, but I guess if you look at actual porn, that's the problem. What the hell? I don't know how caught up you are with Chainsaw Man or the anime community, Janine.
I don't Chainsaw Man, and I very infrequently anime.
The Reze Arc movie came out this summer. I'm still pretty sure it's my movie of the year. And it's based off of an arc of the Chainsaw Man manga that came out years ago. And I think someone posted recently that it's like, oh, hey, the entire look and like outfit and vibe is very similar to a porn artist, and so, or a porn actress. And so people are like, I can't believe the guy who makes a comic as progressive as Chainsaw Man reads porn or just coincidentally stumbled on this. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with a bit of porn. There's nothing wrong with that. But also, like, y'all are fucking excited for the Rurouni Kenshin re-release and all these other creators. What the hell? What the hell? Anyway, that's a digression. These episodes include Protect Shirahoshi, Deccan's Pursuit.
The crew is defeated. Hody controls Ryugu Palace.
Revived Fade, Nami and the Fishman Pirates.
A hero who freed the slaves. An adventurer tiger.
Kizaru appears, a trap aimed at Tiger.
The hero's last moments. The impact of tigers. Truth.
The pirates split, Jinbei versus Arlong. Yeah, so it's been a while. Princess Shirahoshi falls out of Megalo's mouth, and that is when Vanderdecken proposes to her, and she turns him down because he is not her type, and so he vows to kill her. Good job on Princess Shirahoshi for saying no. You shouldn't have needed to give a reason, but you clearly gave a reason, and Vanderdecken just sucks.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a shock reaction for people who are just onlookers who are just like, that's your only reason. And the thing is that like you can say no for any reason.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be because he dresses like he's a knockoff Moonwalker. That was the Michael Jackson video
I don't know.
where he does the moonwalk.
Billie Jean?
Michael Jackson Moon. Yeah, no, it was Moonwalk
Okay.
because he has the hat and the suit and the suspenders and everything. He's like player 2 in the Moonwalk game where you have to go and rescue Bubbles.
The what?
You don't know about the Michael Jackson Moonwalk game where you have to rescue Bubbles, his monkey?
That sounds fake.
If would that it were. Would that it were. Yeah. So Luffy and the other Straw Hats have been captured by the guards, but then Luffy just breaks free to protect Shirahoshi after telling her not to cry, and they escape from Vanderdecken. And Wadatsumi's back. He gets a tooth punched out of his mouth. Back at the palace, Zoro holds off Hody. That way, Kami and Nami can escape with the guards. Zoro makes a deep cut into Hody, forcing him to take more steroids. And when Zoro tries to help King Neptune escape, Hody captures all of them because he's full of energy pills. Energy pills. Energy pills. Do you think we're going to get an anti drug lesson from this, or just energy pills are awesome, Janine?
I don't know. Like, if it was the drugs that end up doing in Hody Jones, then I think that yes. But if any consequence befalls and is completely unrelated to the drugs, then I
Hmm.
think that it is a heavy endorsement to do any and all drugs.
It will help you take over Fishman Kingdom, assuming that it's already been coincidentally invaded on accident. So Luffy and Shirahoshi and that group of Straw Hats find Frankie, the Sunny, and Jinbei in the Sea Forest, and Shirahoshi goes to pray at her mother's grave, which she has never been to, and Jinbei apologizes to Nami for freeing Arlong. Arlong's back. Arlong's relevant. Welcome back, Arlong. And meanwhile, the new Fishman pirates start to assemble and force the residents to either stomp on a photo of Queen Otohime or be forced to leave Fishman Island as human sympathizers while the princes and the guards do what they can to protect their people. That's all the stuff in the present that we're getting to. Janine, are you ready for flashback time? Or anything
Take
you
me
want to
back.
comment on? All right. Bow, 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 now, 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 now. So we enter a flashback explaining how the fishmen and mermaids were treated as inhuman monsters, especially before 200 years ago when the Ryugu kingdom became part of the world government. But when the Great Pirate Era started, the kingdom started to be invaded by slavers until Whitebeard vowed to protect the kingdom and put it under his watch. Because prejudice was still a problem, though, there were two main factions fighting for the fishmen: Queen Otohime and Fisher Tiger. Fisher Tiger freed slaves while Queen Otohime pushed for understanding and integration with the surface dwellers. Her dream was to have Fishman Island get the permission from the world nobles to rise to the surface, but this requires a large number of signatures from all the citizens, and they were reasonably hesitant to want to have to do anything with humans because humans do kind of suck.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it.
They the Fishman Island and Otohime and Fisher Tiger story is complex and complicated in a way that I think it's messy, but I think it's kind of realistically messy.
I've kind of been enjoying it more than I've enjoyed a lot of other things that have been happening inside of One Piece. So, um, and it also just seems like such a very strong and engaging story. I mean, they do this a lot when they kind of give you the background as to why things are or they are in any place that they go to.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, this is standard One Piece making you care.
Yep. We're going to have most of the next episode of the regular show covering the rest of this flashback. Uh, because flashbacks continue to be a part of One Piece and continue to get longer. So, Jinbei, who had been a soldier for the Queen, and Arlong, who was a criminal, joined up with Fisher Tiger, who had been freeing slaves from the Celestial Dragons. Hell yeah. They formed the Sun Pirates with a tattoo that goes over their slave brands. That way, nobody would know their past. They couldn't tell who had been a slave previously with who was just a pirate on the crew. Hell yeah, solidarity. As the stories of the Sun Pirates' daring reach the other fishmen on the island, it continues to push the population towards isolationism as opposed to integration like Queen Otohime wants. Unfortunately, the Sun Pirates are divided over methods in their treatment of humans that they rescue. During a raid, they save a small girl named Koala who had been a slave, and Fisher Tiger makes the Sun Pirates promise not to kill anyone until they've returned her home because they want her to kind of say, hey, no, these pirates are good people. They are not monsters. And they end up branding her slave symbol with a sun pirate marker, which Arlong does not like, and he just figures she will become hateful too. Get fucked, Arlong. So They return Koala to her island, and Fisher Tiger even walks her back to the village. But once he starts walking back, he is surrounded by the Marines who shoot him. Jinbei goes in to rescue him, but Fisher Tiger has taken too many shots and needs a rare type of blood. Meanwhile, Arlong and the other fishmen attack and steal a Marine ship and take their revenge. Jinbei finds out that the only blood that they have for Fisher Tiger that is his type is human's blood, and Fisher Tiger refuses to take it because he is a Christian Scientist. He had been enslaved and he still has a lot of hate in his heart for the humans. And so he asks Jinbei to keep his death a secret. That way, the kids who are growing up aren't going to learn the hate from him and won't continue to bring that forward, which I think is pretty fucking harsh but realistic. It's like, yeah, these people ruined my lives, ruined the lives of others. I don't want their blood in me, but I also understand that what I am choosing because of what I have personally suffered should not paint relationships with future generations. Like that's some complicated stuff.
Yeah.
And so the crew dissolves. Arlong keeps attacking the Marines and gets arrested by pre-promotion Kizaru. We find out that his real name is Borsellino. And when he is arrested, Arlong lies and claims that Fisher Tiger wasn't allowed the blood that he needed. Jinbei, meanwhile, takes over the Sun Pirates, and he tells the truth of Fisher Tiger's death to the Queen and King. And Otohime is still struggling to get the signatures that she needs, especially after the lies about Fisher Tiger come out. And especially after she saves some humans and then they kidnap mermaids, and she feels absolutely defeated. She gets drunk and decides to cold call the entire island and calls out the fishmen because they are living in a small world because of their fears. And it touches the people. And Jinbei, meanwhile, wants to return home along with a lot of the crew, and he gets an offer from the world government to become a warlord and get his past crimes forgiven. This leads to Arlong being freed. Jinbei asks Arlong to continue to follow him, but he refuses. They fight. Arlong gets his ass kicked, but instead of bowing down to Jinbei, he takes his own group of fishmen off to form the Arlong Pirates, and Macro leaves with his fishmen to become slavers and repeatedly capture Kami. To be continued.
Wow.
Uh huh.
This flashback has been intense. I think that the politics of the fish people have been probably some of the most compelling um, storytelling that this show has had.
Mm-hmm. I think there's still some things that would be interesting and that I'd kind of want to see covered. Like, there definitely feels like there is some discrimination between fishmen and mermaids, where, like, oh, all the mermaids get to live up on the bright, shining part, and all the fishmen get to live down in the dumps, and they're all criminals. And it's like, I kind of want to see that investigated a bit. Like, how much of this hate is being, like, self taught and this like segregation is inherently part of the community here. Like it's kind of messed up to be fighting for your own personal civil liberties while you are also actively oppressing another group. But I also can't say that as a white man in America taking a look back at white history, like the history of feminism. Because you look and it's like, oh hey, yeah, white women deserve the vote, but no people of color. What the hell is going on there? Racism. It doesn't make sense. That's my controversial stance, Janine.
Well, nobody cancel Luke because I can say he's one of the good ones. Anyway, um,
Thank God that footage of me at that Demi Adijuwibe show didn't leak out. All right, we got 8 characters to match this week. I decided to be a bit lazy and I didn't do any Rodrigo styles this week, so I'm only doing 2 pitches this week, which is honestly kind of wild. I'm like a cowboy, weehaw, yippy-skippy. So are
that's
you?
what they say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. West Desperado don't want none of this. Weehaw, yippy-skippy. So I am dropping you the link to my presentation, and let's start off with Queen Otohime. My throwback is Queen Elizabeth I from the poster that Zia Simpson had. But here's my other wild pick, Mona fucking Simpson, a mother
Hmm.
who will risk her life, risk her family, do the hard things because she believes in things, like Joe Namath's sideburns.
Interesting.
Who do you have, Janine?
Well, my Rodrigo style, because I did do Rodrigos for all of these, was Jennifer Aniston.
Mm-hmm.
And my throwback was the Southern Colonel from EI Doe, because he was the one that responds back to the glove slap that Homer threw out. Um, I think I was just really focused on the fact that she just kind of went nuts with slapping for a second.
Yeah, she's intense. She's intense.
So let's talk about it. I mean, I do
A
like Queen
person who's
Elizabeth.
very turned on by middle-aged women.
Okay, yeah, so we have that working for me. But come on, it's a good character design too.
we're
Um,
dealing with some skitty and whalelord hours too.
hmm,
Sorry.
I think I would go. I would feel more comfortable with Queen Elizabeth than I would Mona, to be honest.
Can I? You know that I am not one to just throw out characters willy nilly.
That's true.
I think that Mona's activism is one of the big things, as well as her being a mom. We may table her for the next full episode if we want, but I think that Mona Simpson is a very strong pick here.
If you're that serious, I will take a tabling for now and to see if the source material could do anything to help convince me.
All right. Up next, we have Fisher Tiger, and we tabled Fisher Tiger previously because he just showed up as a silhouette. Do you remember when that happened?
A long time ago, it was um, when the Gorgon sisters were talking about um, the person who helped them escape. I
Yes.
think, yeah.
That was also the first time that, or no, the second time Jinbei was mentioned. Like, Jinbei was initially mentioned all the way back in Arlong Park.
Oh.
It's such a long path. Who are you going with for Fisher Tiger?
Let's see. My Rodrigo style was Lang Su.
Mm-hmm.
And my throwback, if we haven't used them yet, I did not go to check, but Carl Carlson.
Interesting. Carla Tortelli, Carl Bible Stories, Lenny and Carl Who Die. We have not used classic Carl Carlson. My throwback is Fausto. Fausto, who randomly showed up again like last season on The Simpsons. And then Mr. Bergstrom. I believe that Mr. Bergstrom has bombed some buildings and killed some slavers. But what's this?
Pere, 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 pere.
We had 3 characters that were open for fan suggestions. Reverse Eye Patch suggested Dr. Julius Hibbard as Malcolm Sex.
Hang on, I have to look this up. This is important. This is for the podcast.
This is important research. This is for the podcast. This is important research. This is for the podcast. I just put the image into Discord.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, are we going with Malcolm Sex?
I think we have to go with Malcolm Sex.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh. All right. Up next, we have Papa Neil, who is a fishman who took a child hostage and then got the shit slapped out of him by Queen Otohime. My throwback was the coat thief. And then I also had the robber from Homer and Apu, because that is the same man. Look between those 2 photos. What is the difference? There is no difference. Who do you have, Janine?
I only had one name for this one, and it was my Rodrigo style, and it is Robber Apu. When Apu holds up the Swapper. Is it Swapper Joe's?
Swapper Jacks, I think.
Swapper Jacks. Yeah. He holds up the Swapper Jacks, is not very good about it. Snake kind of like
Tries to
convinces him
guide
to
him.
give up. Yeah, it was very
Weird,
almost
sweet.
it was weird and sweet at the same time. The
Mhm.
classic way that Simpsons knows how to do. But that role reversal, I was a big fan of that. So, and also like, yeah, Apu is also an ineffective robber.
Yeah, this is the robber who shoots James Woods. The one that I had.
That's a good person then.
Yes.
I'll follow that person on a website.
Have I swayed you with Robber from Homer and Apu?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We then have Zarurin, which is a play on the word for runny nose. Who do you have for Zarurin?
I have bagged bottle Bart when Homer's going through kind of like an alcohol hallucination.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Waverly Hills Ralph, but I didn't check to see if we used Waverly Hills Ralph because it kind of feels like it's been said before, but I don't know if it's been picked before.
Waverly Hills. Ralph. We have used Ralph from Simpsons Bible Stories, Laertes Ralph, and Opium Ralph. We have not used Waverly Hills Ralph.
I love Opium Ralph. Why wasn't that in Head Shops?
My throwback was Francis, the orphan child who Krusty's charity has not given any money to, and then young Wiggum, who gets his acne or who gets his who gets his allergies cleared up or whatever. I like Waverly Hills Ralph.
Hell yeah.
That's who I wanna be. Gimme, 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 gimme. Up next is Aladdin. I had Tom Savini as my throwback because that facial hair, that ability to kind of do magic, that ability to blow up some organs and cover things with blood makes sense for the Doctor of the Sun Pirates. Aladdin will be returning in the future slash present. Uh, I also had Dr. Wolf, the doctor who gives Lisa the horrible braces and shows the big book of British smiles. Janine, who do you have?
Well, let's see here. Mine are a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
My Rodrigo style is a security guard from Beware My Cheating, Bart.
Mm-hmm.
That, for those who don't remember, he was on a Segway the entire time. You can't miss him.
Mm-hmm.
And my throwback is someone. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure we did use uh, the genie from My Pod and Boomsticks. The one that was voiced by
Racist.
Dan Castellaneta. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is also one that we had for open suggestions, and
Pere, 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 pere.
that one welder guy also suggested the genie who is racist.
Excellent. What a place to leave that genie.
We need to save him for the actual genie that shows up in One Piece.
There's a genie that shows up in One Piece. Well,
Uh-huh.
anything could be a genie.
No, it is specifically from a magic lamp type genie.
Yeah, and we could make that Paul Schaefer.
Or
We
how
have.
about, well, yeah, but Aladini, Tom Savini.
You're really on Tom Savini right now.
He helped revolutionize horror effects, and he also plays a guy who gets brutally killed by zombies in the original Dawn of the Dead.
Okay, I'll give you Savini just this once.
Well, yeah, I can only cast Tom Savini once. But I appreciate it, Janine. All right. Next we have Kadar, who looks like he jacks off with Icy Hot. Who do you have for Kadar?
My Rodrigo style, and only pick I have for this one because it just felt so real. Shepherd Fairy.
I spelled shepherd wrong. I spelled it very wrong. Because there's no H. No, there's only one H. All right. I had James Hetfield and Johnny the Soldier, but I'm going to go with Shepherd Ferry.
Hell yeah.
A cab includes Shepherd Ferry. We then have Koala. What are your thoughts on Koala, Janine?
I think that she is a very interesting character and one that definitely um, both changes the narrative and also is the story.
Mm-hmm. We may be seeing more of Koala in the future. Let's start with our last suggestion that we had.
Pere, 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 pere. Pere.
Reverse Eye Patch suggested the orphan Poor Violet. My throwback is Mary Spuckler. And then I also just wanted to toss out someone else, but I don't think she's a good pick, and that is Janie Powell. Janie has no characteristics, she just has longevity, and we should not use Janie for Koala. But I do think Mary Spuckler is a very good idea. Who do you have, Janine?
Well, I did a package deal with Muty.
Ruti?
Yes. For both my picks.
Mm-hmm.
For my Rodrigo style, I have Game of Thrones Lisa and Game of Thrones Marge.
Mm-hmm.
And for my throwback, I had Gerald Sampson and Gerald Sampson's mother. That's the baby with one eyebrow for those that aren't very, who aren't familiar with Gerald Sampson on the basis of, first and or last name.
Yeah, well, we don't want to confuse him with Gerald Ford, the baby with one eyebrow. My Mooty picks were Smothering Mother Magazine Mom and Mrs. Powell to go with Janie Powell. I don't necessarily want to use another Lisa for Koala, and I don't necessarily want to use Gerald from a gendered perspective.
We've broken the gender barrier before, though.
We have. I also think that Mary Spuckler as a complicated character who we are also going to see coming back in future episodes of The Simpsons fits more with Koala in a few ways. But also, we aren't going to see Koala again for a couple hundred episodes.
Goddamn.
Mm-hmm. That Koala, it do sleep 12 hours a day. How long do koalas sleep? How long do koalas sleep a day? Meet local koalas in your neighborhood. Hell yeah.
Don't click
Uh,
that. Don't click that.
they sleep up to 22 hours a day.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And
That
that's
should.
why I like the Pokemon Kamala, Komala, Kamala Harris. Komala's a pretty cool Pokemon. I like how it sleeps and has the wood.
Yeah. It has wood.
It has wood. Yeah, my biggest problem with the Mary Spuckler pick is I don't have a good pick from Ruti.
I mean, would you
Muti,
want to do Brandine?
I feel like Brandine has so much other context, and Muti is nothing. Like, God, are we putting down a curse marker here? Brandine for Big Mom. Um, Cursed marker established. Muti weirdly looks like one of those later season of Adventure Time characters. Like
I
when they start going into the other universes.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's a good Brandine Spuckler variant, maybe. Ooh, Simpsons fandom has turned on their holiday theming. But Wiki Simpsons is not. Okay, Brandine Spuckler. Brandine Delroy Spuckler, sorry, ma'am. She doesn't have an images page, that coward. Unless this is. Oh, okay. There, the gallery is on Simpsons Wiki.
Oh my god, you know who we could use?
Who are you thinking?
Paula Paul.
We could.
Like, they get me just that same amount of kind of annoyed at something that they did. that ends up like completely getting an angry mob turned on somebody.
I am willing to do that. That way we each get a point for this. So Mary Spuckler and Paula Paul?
Yes.
Hell yeah. That is teamwork. That is what makes the dream work, Janine. Thank you for making my dreams come true. Woo! Woo! So, our Otohime is tabled. Fisher Tiger is Malcolm Sex. Our Papa Neil is Robber from Homer and Apu. Our Zaruran is Waverly Hills Ralph. Our Aladdin is Tom Savini. Our Kadar is Shepard Fairey. Our Koala is Mary Spuckler. And our Mooti is Paula Paul. Janine, do you know what we're doing next week
What are
for
we
next
doing?
episode?
What are we doing next episode?
We're going to go to the movies.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. We sent Zorro to go and bring us snacks, and instead he's bringing a cursed sword. Oh, cursed holy sword. It's like when
Oh.
my dad was told to go and pick up something, and then he'd come back with like 2 gallons of ice cream as well. I get that, Dad. I get you now. Yeah, next episode in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing another movie, Zorro and the Cursed Holy Blade, I think it is called. And it's going to be a pretty good time. Because we also have a video game tie-in short, Janine.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. With baseball.
Uh
Uh-huh. So, where can you be found online, my friend?
You can be able to find me on Bluesky. That is JanineJuliet.bisky.social. You can also find me on Instagram. I post there irregularly. That's
Mm-hmm.
Janine is dope. And I also do another podcast, Wrestle Girlies, that I post there irregularly. That I do with my friend Flighty Butt Last. You could be able to find that most places you find podcasts. Luke, where can the people find you?
You can find me most places online is at Coltreg. That's Koltreg. And you can also, yeah, I'm on itch.io. I'm on Discord. I'm on Reddit. You can just find me there. Our cover art is by Mike Patten. You can find most places online as Patten Pending. That's Patten. Sometimes underscore PENDING. Make sure to give him a follow. And if you are a person capable of producing an animated series, hire him because it helps. Our next numbered episode is also going to be number 90, so make sure to tell all your friends and get ready to celebrate. Dohmance Dawn updates semi-weekly. That means every other week. You can find us at dohmancedawn.com or on YouTube or wherever. You know where to find us. The thing that we need your help is helping other people find us. If we're going to make it past episode 100, we do kind of need to get more people listening to the show. So if you want to help with that, recommend us to your friends, recommend us to your enemies if they're going to be chill, and make sure to join our Discord. Thank you all for listening, and have a safe trip. Peace.